Go. Hey, what's happening out there, guys? Will Ripley here with Campfire Guitar Star. What's happening? How you doing? Let's talk about these things. They come in all shapes and sizes, and you know, so we're going to be doing a whole lot of this today. Hopefully nothing falls off. Well, it shouldn't fall off because I got Velcro on here. So we're going to be talking all about these things. Guitar effects. So drop me a comment. Let me know that you guys are out there. And hopefully there's no trolls. You know, I've been very grateful. You know, you guys are very good people out there, and the Campfire Guitar Star community is pretty wicked. So I appreciate you guys. But once in a while, you know, there's a troll out there. Somebody's not too happy with me or what I'm doing. But hey, that's part of the game of getting out here live in front of a camera for all you guitar players out there. But hey, I see James and Robert Cron on the call. What's up, guys? Good to see you. And so yes, we're going live on the Facebook group Beginner Guitar Players on Facebook, which Mike B and myself founded, and we moderate that group. And then also on the YouTube channel for Campfire Guitar Star. So guys, yeah, let me know the question to get the conversation rolling. And of course, you guys can talk to me, ask me questions, talk amongst yourselves, you know, strike up a conversation. There's already a few people, James, Robert, Steve, and Tony, all on the live call on YouTube so far. Let me know if you guys are out there on Facebook as well. So the topic right here out the gate, just to get the conversation rolling, is do you have any guitar effects? Okay, and if you look over here, you might see that I've got a few. This is my brand new board that I just built, and I couldn't be any more happy with it. So we're going to be talking about your chance to win this bad boy over here, which is a brand new in the box rock board by Warwick, the Tray 3.1, which is just a little bit smaller than this. It's going to be a little shorter and a little bit more narrow and not as wide as this one. So this is the Sank 5.2 rock board by Warwick. As you can see, I'm kind of a fanboy of these guys. So yeah, let me know what kind of guitar effects do you have. Ted says he's got compression. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're gonna dig in here, guys. So Ted asks, compression before or after the overdrive and fuzzbox? So I think that he's actually asking about my rig here. So I've got compression later on in the stages. I've got fuzz and before the overdrive. So it goes fuzz, overdrive, and then compression. So anyways, so lots to dig in here today, guys. So and let's just see. Tony's got a fuzz, one overdrive. Cool. Robert Cron's got a DJ Ashba wah pedal. I didn't know that he had a signature wah pedal. That's cool. Is that made by Morley or is that Dunlop, Robert? Let me know. Robert's also got a phaser, distortion, classic fuzz. James says none here, and he's here to learn to set one up. Awesome. Oh, Robert says, yeah, so Morley makes that one. Yeah, I didn't think it was Dunlop. But Dunlop has a lot of wah-wah pedals. And here's another one, Ibanez WH10. Which was made famous by John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And this is a modded one by Wilson Effects. And anyways, I really love it. So guys, let's talk about guitar effects, because let's face it, they're a huge part of playing electric guitar, and they always have been. Okay, so if we look way back to like one of my favorite guitar players that utilized effects back in the day was Jimi Hendrix. Okay, he really, you know, had a big impact on the use of guitar effects with his use of course, the wah-wah pedal, the fuzz pedal, the univibe pedal, you know, and all sorts of other pedals too, but and of course the octave fuzz pedal. Okay, so solos like the solo to Purple Haze or the intro to Voodoo Child. I mean, songs that were made in the 1960s, you know, these guys were using guitar effects. So, and here's the other side of the coin. Okay, is Joe Bonamassa, who, let me know if you're familiar with him. Big guitar player right now, probably the most popular kind of up-and-coming new guitar player, probably, yeah, probably the most well-known, famous new guitar player out there right now. And he came out and said something along the lines of, guitar players who use effects pedals are effing lazy. And of course, it created a big stir in the guitar community because, I mean, look at all these pedals that I run when I'm playing live. I mean, I've got a bunch of them here, and so here's the thing, is that yes, of course, you can do a lot with your guitar and your amp, okay? And hey, let's just talk about for a second how important it is to play guitar, okay, and learn guitar, okay? And I actually see Steve Hunter and Robert Cron, who are actually one-on-one students of ours at Campfire Guitar Star, and Keith Rather as well. What's up? What's up? So yeah, so good to see some one-on-one students. These guys have invested in their guitar playing, okay, which is really, really important. So always check in on some of those basics. You know, can you get a different sound out of your guitar with your volume and your tone knobs, okay? The settings on your amp, okay? And how about just playing the damn thing, right? Like really learning your scales, your licks, your riffs, your chords, your solos, and how to put those all together in a good musical context. Now, but I love guitar effects because they're just such an integral part of electric guitar. I mean, you've got your guitar, you've got your amp, and you've got effects. They're almost like synonymous. They all just go together, okay? And so what I thought we would do today is I basically want to share with you guys what some cool tips are for building pedal boards. So check it out. I've got all this stuff right here at my feet, okay? So we've got just like a plank of wood, okay? And then if you caught me earlier on, I've got like this problem board, okay? So this is a big problem board. And we've got my brand new rock board, which I built with the help of the new rock board by Warwick. And you guys can see this red module at the front. So I'm able to do a really complex setup with my ins, outs, running my effects loop on my amp and a foot switch for my amp, all like super, super quickly. So I'm able to set up like quite an elaborate setup really quickly, okay? Whether that's in the studio or for a live show. So I'm really grateful for that. And as mentioned, we're at the end of the month, we're gonna be giving this away. Okay, so if you are not on the Campfire Guitar Star mailing list, head over to campfireguitarstar.com after this session. And anywhere that you put in your email address, like to get my free course, 5-Minute Guitar, or anything that you sign up for on that website, you'll get in the loop. So you just want to find those emails from me, and you can you'll be able to enter a chance to get the brand new Tray 3.1. So this is the Warwick rock board. They just came out with these. If you guys have been checking out any guitar magazines lately, they're doing a big advertising campaign right now because it's a brand new pedal board system that does like something like this, where you get these tight looking pro pedal boards and you can set up a very elaborate setup very quickly. All right, so okay, cool. So now that we got some of those ground rules set up, so what I thought I would talk about is basically like for somebody just getting into pedals, something like this is pretty elaborate, probably overkill. And for me, I've been messing around with guitar effects for about 15, going on 20 years now. Wow, that's crazy when I say that out loud. So I've really kind of discovered what it is that I like and what I don't like. And the biggest tip that I want to give you right at the gate here is how I learned that was I actually bought a multi-effects unit. And what that means is you get a big like chunk of a pedal board, and you know, all the companies make them, Boss, Zoom, Digitech, on, and maybe you know some, so drop those in the comments. But I bought a Boss ME50. ME50, and it came with a bunch of, it's a multi-effect, so I was able to access a bunch of effects. And sure enough, I learned that, hey, I really like a fuzz sound, but I don't really use a phaser or a flanger that much. It's not that they're bad effects, but And then, you know, I use a wah-wah pedal and a whammy pedal and a delay, but there's a bunch of effects that I didn't use. And there's a bunch of effects that I really loved, okay? And then, quite simply, that taught me so much about effects, what they do, what they sound like, what I like and what I don't like. And quite simply, all I did was I went out and bought the individual pedals of those sounds that I really liked. And of course, each one of these pedals, there's a lot of research and trial and error and buying and selling and researching YouTube videos and all that stuff that goes into buying an individual pedal to find out the one. And sometimes you buy the one and then it's not the right one and then you sell it, or you grow out of it 5 years or 10 years later and you get sick of it, or whatever the case is. Okay, so that's the biggest tip of what I want to share with you guys. If you want to get into guitar effects, start with the multi-effects, okay? And I'd really recommend that Boss ME50. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but should be able to find one for a couple $100, and it'll just introduce you to a lot of good quality tones. And Boss, of course, is very famous. Got a couple Boss digital delay pedals up here. So yeah, Boss, a big leader in guitar effects. And so let's talk about building your own pedal board. So quite simply, if you like, here's the thing: is it's nice to get pedals wired up together. And so then that way you can just kind of do like a quick in, a quick out, boom, you got your pedal board set up. Because we don't want things to get in the way of us playing and recording and performing and jamming and learning, right? So so it's nice to just have a good solid setup. So check it out. This is literally a plank of wood, okay? As you can see, it's a plank of freaking wood. And this is the carpet from my old 1986 Volkswagen Jetta, which I literally found in a junkyard. And I was like, dude, if there's any automotive carpet that I'm pulling this carpet from, or you know, any car that I can pull this from, is going to be my old 1986 Jetta in this junkyard. So there I was ripping out the carpet, and it became my pedal board carpet. So automotive carpet, really good stuff. Any kind of sticky carpet. And of course, what we want to do is just basically, you can get a plank of wood, put some carpet on it. And so like for this one, for instance, this problem board that I got going on. Oh, one moment. So this problem board that I got going on, here's another tip. So of course you can get carpet glue. Super glue is great. Hey, what about this? Just start going around, bang, bang, just start nailing the carpet in via staple gun. Okay, so a good tool to have in your arsenal. And it's just fun to shoot at people and, you know, so yeah, I love having a staple gun around. It's just a handy tool. So so here's the problem: is I tried to use duct tape. This is just a mess now, okay? So here's my other big tool tip that I want to let you in on is gaff tape. Get rid of duct tape, man. That shit is terrible. Get gaff tape. It's short for gaffer's tape. So I first get introduced to this kind of tape. So it's like 25 bucks a roll. That's why I'm going to talk about this gaff tape. All right? Is my mic good? Okay, cool. So gaffer's tape. My brother works in the film industry, and he had some of this stuff. And so I borrowed it, and I really liked it. Turns out that people in the video industry and people that are like, you know, the people that set up and tear down concerts, they're all over gaff tape because it's as strong and as sticky as duct tape, but it doesn't leave residue. And gaff tape would never do something like this, where it just like falls apart and, you know, and stuff like that. So I made a couple of mistakes with this. So what I'm gonna do is, and I'm planning on doing some pictures later. So yeah, so this is just a mess right now. But that's basically it. It's just grabbing some carpet, you know, stapling that in, gluing that in, and then just seal it around with gaff tape. And you'll see that you can kind of transform a piece of wood. And so like if you look at this, I've got gaff tape around here, and it kind of like just tidies up the edges and makes it look all right. And yeah, just kind of blackens it out, okay? And then quite simply from there, we just start sticking pedals on, okay? But here's another little secret tip that I've been doing a lot of is, okay, so let's talk, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So I've got a Digitech Bad Monkey pedal, famously used by Phil X from, who's, I guess his big claim to fame now is Bon Jovi. you ever heard of them, they're kind of big. Anyways, he uses this pedal. And I got it for 20 bucks. So check it out. What we're gonna do, grab some 2-inch sticky Velcro, okay? Make sure to get the heavy duty stuff. Like, don't cheap out on this. By the way, when we get something like the rock board, this is actually the roll that's included. So they're very generous with what they supply. So that's kind of a cool little bonus. So quite simply, you know, there's nothing too crazy about this. I just line it up, grab some scissors, and trim it. Okay, so here's the thing, is that this pedal is nice and flat, okay? You know, we're gonna have no problem putting Velcro on this, okay? So rip off the back. Okay, stick it on. Okay, now here's a big tip. These things are called Stomp Boxes, right? Well, check it out. I'm gonna put this on the floor, and I'm literally gonna just stand on it, okay? And squish it around and just, you know, kind of mash it in with my thumb and, you know, stuff like that. Like, just really get that piece of Velcro in. And if it doesn't stick, get yourself some super glue, man. That's another great thing, because especially, you know, especially when you're in the pedalboard building phase, you're going to be sticking it on, taking it off, sticking it on, taking it off, and sure enough, this stuff will peel up, and you'll find yourself reapplying it. So sometimes just a couple drops of super glue just to really reinforce this. And like I said, if you want to get the carpet on your pedalboard more solidly, then that's going to help you a ton too. Okay, so there's a couple of things right there. And also, as mentioned, this one's nice and flat, right? So, but not all pedals are like that. Sometimes they have feet on them, okay, little rubber feet. And what you want to do is take those things off. You want to grab some needle nose pliers, all right? And just literally just grab that rubber thing and just peel the whole thing off. Like, just make it as flat as you can, okay? Because it's going to save you a lot of grief and just solidify your pedal board a lot, okay? And what I do is I actually keep all my little rubber feet, okay? And because they come in handy, man, I put them on my my Fender Mustang for the tone switches or the pickup switches, okay? So here's a little stack of feet that I just stuck together. Now check it out. Now, if we get back to this little mini board, okay, this plank of wood with carpet and gaff tape, okay, but if you put this on the floor and if you start stepping on it, wood on wood is just gonna slide, right? Like, so what you can do is just grab those pedal feet that you rip off your other pedals and just stick them on the back of here. And again, super glue, super handy. And that's when you stick this on a wood floor or whatever, it's just gonna be super rigid and actually sticky and solid, okay? Because that's been a big mistake of mine, is you get everything all together and then you go to step on your pedal board and it like slips out from underneath your feet, okay? So there's another little tip for you guys, is get these rubber feet, flatten out your pedal boards when you stick on that Velcro, and yeah, keep these rubber feet because they will come in handy, all right? Okay, so quite simply, why don't we just start sticking this pedal board together? So, I mean, roughly, I know, okay, so here's a fuzz and an overdrive, okay? I know, let me think, yep, so one thing that I learned from David Gilmour's setup is that he's using an overdrive after his fuzz pedals, or an EQ after his fuzz pedals. So, and so, like, there's going to be a big difference if you have both these pedals on. There's going to be a big difference between this and if they're in this order, okay? Because you got to just think about your signal flow, right? And so the thing is that, yeah, you can follow and get tips from the pedal order, but you know what? Nothing beats just testing it for yourself. Like, what do I like, fuzz before the overdrive or fuzz after the overdrive? Just, you know, click out those cables really quick, punch them in, see it for yourself. How does it sound with your guitar and your rig and for your ears, right? So anyway, so I roughly know that I'm going to do something like this. Okay. And so here's another little tip. So we're already more. We got this like cool little mini board. All right. Now, here's a little tip. Let's talk about this, the tuner pedal. Probably one of the most essential pedals. You know why? Because as soon as you click it, your sound gets cut and you're able to tune in silence. Okay. But also, if you see on here, we've got some power supply things. So yeah, you need to power this pedal, but then you can run a daisy chain out of this. Okay, so here's the basic idea. This is going to be your average, like 9-volt thing is about 200 milliamps, and pedals are roughly 30 to 50 milliamps. So let's just say 50 to be safe. So if this is 200, and each one of these are 50, so 50, 150, 200. So I can safely run 4 pedals, including the tuner, off of this as a daisy chain. So what I mean by daisy chain is this rig right here, okay, where we got this set up, okay, and we've got, basically, we would just daisy chain it. So we plug into one, plug into the next, plug into the next, and plug into the next. Okay, so there you have it. We're getting somewhere. So we can plug in just a regular 9-volt power supply into the tuner, and that's going to power all 4 pedals totally safely and provide enough power. Now, when you get into a bigger system like this, okay, what's awesome is that what I got under here, there's a whole rig going on under here. And specifically, we've got the Voodoo Labs power pedal supply under here. And that's how I'm able to power so many pedals, okay? And additionally, there's, as you can see over here, I've got this, this wall wart powering my big purple pedal and stuff like that. So when you get into more elaborate setups, then certainly you're gonna wanna get a more professional power supply. And also there's, check out One Spot. It's a power supply that plugs right into your wall, but it's like super high milliamperage. So instead of your regular 200 milliamps where you can power, you know, roughly 4 pedals, you can actually power a whole bunch of pedals just with the One Spot. So and I'm sure there's other companies there too. Drop in the comments if you recommend another power supply. So from here, guys, quite simply, we can grab some pretty, like, just cheap, like you'll see these just kind of like these cheap, colorful patch cables. I actually don't mind these, especially when you're just, say if you just get kind of like a rookie kind of beginner board, because then that means that you can just kind of put these in all different directions and lengths and all that stuff, and they're cheap, okay? Because I'll tell you what, man, when you start getting, like, if you look at these guys that I got the highest grade rock board patch cables that they provide. And where are they? Oh yeah, so, and then here's another couple of ones that you can get. So, like these flat patch cables, okay? And this one's super cool. These twisty ones, okay? They twist around. And then when you get into the higher grade ones, you get these gold ones, okay? And of course, the flat patch cables really save a ton of space on your board. So that's super handy. But yeah, like really quite simply, like I won't kind of save you the boredom, but we just, you know, plug on, plug in the next, okay? And yeah, cause it's kind of like a little dangly here. So that's when the flat patch cables, like I just showed you from Rockboard, are kind of cool. And then certainly, don't forget about zip ties, man, okay? Just quite simply grabbing a zip tie, you know, just grabbing a bunch of these cables, you know, wrapping them around and just snugging them down will prevent any kind of problem board from arising, all right? So how am I doing so far, guys? Do you guys get some new ideas? Is there something kind of like stirring in your brain? Are you gonna build a pedal board? Do you got a plank of wood somewhere and some carpet, and can you get some gaff tape? I'm sure you can, actually you can just order off Amazon. But yeah, so it is 25 bucks for a roll of gaff tape, but honestly, you'll never want to use duct tape again. Okay, so let me just double check on the comments here. Let me know if you guys do have any. Cool, a couple of shout outs from Robert Cron and Steve Hunter on the 101 lessons that we're doing at Campfire Guitar Star. Cheers, appreciate that. What's up, Juggernaut? Ralph Ramirez. Cool. I think I emailed you today. Bellinator, can you use pedals with an acoustic guitar? Hell yeah, dude. You know what I was just thinking about was I've got a potential acoustic gig coming up, and I absolutely run pedals, especially like a compressor pedal and an analog delay pedal on an acoustic guitar. Money, dude. So good. It just really makes your acoustic guitar come out of the PA kind of sounding a little bit more polished, like you might hear on a recorded kind of setup. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out some guitar effects for your acoustic guitar. Absolutely. You know, you want to stay clear from the distortions and fuzzes. Like those just don't really work with an acoustic guitar. You'll see for yourself pretty quickly. Like it just makes your whole guitar resonate. It's just like you could feel it shaking in your hands, and you just can't play anything. So anyways, it's kind of funny, but yeah, certainly compressors, delays, reverbs, you know, probably phasers, flangers, stuff like that. Those will all sound pretty good on an acoustic guitar for sure. Okay. Steve Hunter says, if you have an amp that has built-in effects, coarse delay flanger with an external foot switch, should you use that for those effects, or is individual effects pedals better? Great question, Steve. So it kind of comes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the session with the Boss ME50, how you can have a multi-effects unit. So that would be in the same ballpark as having an amp with built-in effects, okay? Now here's the thing though, I haven't ever really been too crazy about amps with built-in effects because quite often they're kind of hard to use. They like pre-program them into your guitar sounds, especially the Line 6 stuff. And it's been a bunch of years since I've been using this. And of course, as you know, as we all know, technology is always constantly advancing and improving. So I hope that built-in effects have gotten a lot better. Let me know what it is that your amp is. But yeah, so those, absolutely those, Steve, those built-in effects will teach you what those effects do. Like, what does a flanger sound like? What does a flanger sound like in comparison to a phaser, in comparison to a chorus, in comparison to a univibe? You know, like what are the differences between those? Okay, and they're all similar, but they're all uniquely very different, and you'll find yourself kind of gravitating towards one more than the other. Okay, so that's what I love about multi-effects units is teach you what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like, you know? And even if you find like 3 effects that you really like, then if you invest say $200 in each one of those effects, you're going to get really high quality individualized sounds. Okay, and I always like the analogy of like I'm a skier. Okay, so I've grown up skiing, and of course when it would snow like 3 feet, okay, and you got these skinny little skis on, you're not going to have the most fun out there. Okay, so if you have these great big fat skis, then skiing 3 feet of fresh snow is going to be a lot more fun because you kind of float on top. However, if you use those fat skis on an icy day, okay, or when there's no fresh snow, those big fat skis suck. They're terrible, okay? Now, that's why a lot of companies make these all-in-one units, and that's kind of what multi-effects are, or amps that have built-in effects. They're kind of like the all-in-one, do-it-all, or in the skiing world, they call it the all-mountain ski. And it just kind of does everything like pretty good, you know, where you can't really have too many complaints. But absolutely, when you get like a specified powder ski or a specified ice or groomer ski, or in this case, when we're talking guitar effects, when you get a specialized unit to do that thing really, really well, then you're just going to get like just a higher quality sound and something more inspiring or something that you want to use a little bit more. So, but certainly with multi-effects and amps and stuff like that, you can you just get so much education. Cool. So yeah, this is Hughes and Kettner. Cool, guys. Well, okay, so let me just make sure that I got everything. So, but yeah, we kind of like, so I've wanted to put together a little mini board like this for a while because I've been thinking like, if I'm going to show up to some jam nights, I want to do that more often is just like head to jams. And but you never know what kind of rig you're going to be playing through. So this is something that I could slap down pretty easily, even if I just put batteries in all this, and I don't even have to worry about a power supply. I can slap this down, put one cable in, one cable out, and boom, I'm off to the races. I got an, in this case, a fuzz, an overdrive, some sort of other effects. In this case, this is like a univibe or a chorus, and then of course a tuner, okay? And just having those, just a couple of solid little units that I can slip into my guitar case, like that's pretty handy, right? And boom, look at this. Okay, so we talked about the Velcro, getting sticky carpet, you know, and I'll stick on those the feet on the back of this so it's nice and stable. But yeah, man, it's just kind of like a plank of wood and you'll be off to the races. Now, this is all good and great, but I don't know. Like, as you can see, there's kind of dangling wires and stuff that, you know, and I just love the concept of a pedal board versus a problem board, okay? So if it gets much bigger than this, I'm going to start running into problems really fast. I'm going to have power problems. I'm going to have cabling problems. Things are going to pull out, okay? And that's why, PS, I like to put my tuner pedal last in the chain, okay, at the very end of the spectrum, so I can turn my pedal tuner on. And if I can tune my guitar, then I know that something before it is good or bad. Okay, so I actually like to put my tuner last in the chain. It helps me figure out problems when they arise. Okay, because I'll tell you what, man, pedal board problems, they definitely do arise. So having a tuner at the end is can help. But yeah, so when you get into getting into the pedal board stuff, you know, and it doesn't have to be this elaborate. However, over here, something like this, the tray 3.1 would be a good size where you can fit probably, you know, 6 or 7 pedals on there comfortably and spaciously. And yeah, and so by the way, if you're just tuning in, we're giving this away at the end of the month, okay? And I'm gonna give away all the cabling that you would need. So we got some of these cool connectors, okay? These cool connectors, and then like some high-end gold ones, and the regular, so nice flat patch cables. So you can squeeze a bunch of pedals together and just make everything tight, you know, problem board free, okay? Juggernaut 41 asks, what are some good beginner pedals? That's a good question. So definitely some good companies to check out. Digitech, Boss, and TC Electronic. Excuse me, I think that all those companies are really great. Ibanez, Maxon, those are some really good companies as well. And all of those are like pretty kind of generic in the sense of like you're able to go to pretty much any guitar store and you're going to be able to find those pedals. But the pedal market is vast and is only growing. And so let's see, what do I get over here? If you want to get like just kind of the step above, check out Keeley and Fulltone and Strymon. Those are all, and Diamond. Yeah, that's another great company. So yeah, so again, Fulltone, Diamond, Keeley, Strymon. So again, those are all very like normal pedal board brands, or sorry, companies that you can find in almost any guitar store, but they're definitely like a notch up in terms of quality and sounds and tones and capabilities and stuff like that. But yeah, of course, then they start getting pretty expensive. Like this pedal right here, man, what is it? This is like $300 just on its own. Got this one for, these are selling for like $450 each. Okay, so once we start digging into this stuff, it gets pretty expensive pretty quickly. But yeah, like I said, Digitech, Boss, Maxon, and TC Electronic, those companies all provide really, really good pedals, and they're going to be rock solid and super, super solid. So I don't know about gravity pedals, Robert. Somebody comment on gravity pedals if you know those. So yeah, Juggernaut is asking, how do you join the giveaway? So again, we're giving away this pedal board at the end of the month. Just head over to campfireguitarstar.com. I'll put that in the comments right now. So I can't do two things at once, guys, sorry. Okay, so anywhere on Campfire Guitar Star, you'll see the prompts to put in your email or get access to my free course, 5-Minute Guitar, which is valued at $140, and we actually have a book that we can ship to your door as well. So anything that you see on the site where you put in your email address, that will get you hooked up for the giveaway. So definitely stick around for that. And there's a good chance that we're going to actually have an electric guitar to give away as well. And it's all in preparation for the All Access Pass, which is going to be dropping here at the beginning of the end of November, and officially starting the beginning of December, where you'll get access to all of our courses, which is $600 worth of courses, and getting a weekly live lesson similar to like what we're doing here, you know, but probably more guitar focused. Of course, I'm doing something a little different today with the pedalboard stuff, but yeah, so that's all for the All Access Pass to Campfire Guitar Star. And there's a couple guys, Robert Cron, Jim Hill, and Steve Hunter, and who else was on here? Ralph Ramirez, and I'm missing somebody. I think Keith Rather was on. So all these guys, they're one-on-one students of ours, so they're taking a weekly one-on-one guitar lesson with the lead one-on-one instructor, Mike B, who you probably recognize from the YouTube channel. And so they're taking a one-on-one lesson. So you guys will have access to all that stuff already, and you already do. You have the basically the All Access Pass on top of taking one-on-one lessons. But yeah, so the one-on-one lessons the All Access Pass is going to be great value, and we're launching it. And in preparation, we're going to do this rock board giveaway. But yeah, check out the rock board stuff by Warwick. They're brand new. I think that you'd agree by looking at this. And you know, with this module in the front, you know, and some cool things like that, and all the tidy cabling underneath, like, man, I'm really pumped on this pedal board, and it's changed my world, man. It's just nice to roll into a gig and plug in a super elaborate setup and just know that it's rock solid. So pretty stoked on this. All right, guys, so let me know if there's any other questions. Otherwise, we will shut it down. And but hey, you know, we got somewhere today. I built a little mini board here, and so I'm pretty stoked on that. So yeah, a little bit more work to do. And oh yeah, and I was just gonna mention another like super secret tip is to use these liquid paper, these guys. I use these all the time for just like marking where the power is going and the signal flow and stuff like that. And I've just found that using these things to draw on the black cabling with a little white marker, really helpful. And it's kind of like painting, you know, you just lock in a number 4 where you need it, or whatever kind of signal flow you're trying to work on. But yeah, so hopefully you guys have picked something up today with the pedal board building. Okay, a couple of questions. Cheers, Robert. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, an RP55 and a Vox wah. Which order should I put it in? Jim, that's a good question, man. So, and here's the thing. I don't really know, but I'll tell you what. Say if this pedal right here is your Digitech RP55, and this pedal here is your wah-wah pedal. Well, try them like that, okay? You know, in that order, and then just go like this. Unplug your stuff, switch them around, replug them in, okay? And then give it a go, okay? See what one sounds better for you. I would probably guess that you're gonna like the wah-wah pedal at the beginning, okay? Like you go guitar into your wah-wah pedal into the multi-effects, but you might be surprised having your wah-wah pedal after some distortions or some cool effects. That might be actually give you a pretty cool sound too. So I kind of like both. And it just kind of depends on the tones you're going for and what you like. So you really just got to honestly try it, okay? And yeah, there's a lot of info out there online about the kind of the pedal effects chain that you should follow. But honestly, you know, you look at some famous guitar players like Jimi Hendrix or Tom Morello, and they're breaking all the rules, okay? But they're some of the most innovative guitarists that have ever used guitar effects. So there you have it. All right, guys. So cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut it down here. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Sign up for the rock board just by getting on the mailing list over at Campfire Guitar Star. Let me know, drop in a comment or a picture of your pedals, your pedal board build. I'd love to see that coming along. And definitely check out Warwick Rock Board. Warwick makes awesome guitars and basses. It just came out with this whole awesome pedal board line that I'm super stoked on and really excited to share with you. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it, and rock on. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.